They finally said yes, and I froze. My mind would not work. That's why I was so desperate.
Was Mrs. Stanton able to help you?
Oh, yes, she was. I think there's another letter in here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, yes, here it is. My dear Miss Anthony, your servant is not dead but liveth. Imagine me day in and day out, watching, bathing, dressing, nursing, and promenading the precious contents of a little crib in the corner of the room. I pace up and down these two chambers of mine like a caged lioness. Now, is your speech exclusively on the point of educating the sexes together, or as to the best manner of educating women? I will do what I can to help you. So, I showed up at her door, suitcase in hand, and we got right down to work. For days we read and talked and argued and cried and wrote and laughed and crossed out and wrote some more, and every 5 minutes one of their babes would arrive with a bloody nose or a wet diaper or a tummy ache or something. Anyway, I had the facts, but Mrs. Stanton knew how to arrange them into sentences and paragraphs. I imagined delivering Mrs. Stanton's words to a crowd of critical, crabby men. We finished educating the sexes together just in time. The point of that speech was to challenge the notion, popular as it was at the time, that women's brains were smaller and therefore weaker than the male brain. You can imagine how well that went over.
How did you and Mrs. Stanton meet?
Well, it was at an anti-slavery meeting in '51. William Lloyd Garrison was the speaker. Someone introduced us afterwards. I don't quite remember. Oh, it was Amelia Bloomer who introduced us.
Amelia Bloomer?
That's right, Amelia Bloomer.
She invented bloomers.
She did not. Well, at least she popularized them and wrote about them in her newspaper. What would you know about bloomers anyway?
Grandma Sarah told me all about them. She had this...
That's right. Sarah was the best storyteller in Western New York. I'm sure she told you all the details.
It was a short skirt with pantaloons underneath, right?
Well, not exactly. Well, there were pantaloons and a short skirt over top of them, the point of which was so that we didn't have to wear these long skirts, which would get muddy in the summer and cold and frozen in the winter. Well, anyway, the pantaloons were the same way men's pants did, and of course that was a problem. And beyond that, the men were positively scandalized by those short skirts. Never mind that our legs were completely covered, and heaven forbid that we should wear anything that was both practical and comfortable. We were mocked and ridiculed and laughed at by men and women alike. Male Betties, they called us.
Male Betties?
Well, yes. That's what they called us when we were wearing our bloomers. Or was that what they called the men who supported us? Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, it got so people were paying more attention to what we were wearing than what we were saying.